This is our Hollywood Cuckoo segment. Today, several celebrities are attributing their tinier midsections to a new product called a waist trainer, Gigi.
Is it really so cuckoo? Google searches for the term waist trainer have actually increased by more than 800% in the past year. People are very interested in this. And as Vinita Nair shows us, this new trend actually dates back to a much older time, as you might imagine.
Now take a deep breath.
For decades, American women have been trying to take everything they've got and squeeze it into something a lot smaller.
Now that was all right, wasn't it? Didn't hurt.
The newest fad is called a waist trainer. Nikita Felder created one of the most popular versions around. It promises to reshape your waist with minimal effort.
I eat what I want, go where I want, and it didn't restrict any of my daily activities. I was calling to see.
Felder says she sold thousands of $100 to $150 waist trainers to clients all over the world.
Word of mouth was the best form of advertisement that I would say my company has had.
Celebrities like Kim Kardashian and her sisters have gushed about losing inches after training their waists.
Why would wearing a corset make your waist slimmer when you took the corset off?
But doctors like Mary Jane Minkin, a clinical professor at Yale University, says the effects from waist trainers don't last.
And these women who are wearing these corsets are really fully grown adults, so there's no reason to suppose that by tying a tight corset around, it's going to do any permanent change.
While the extreme waist-to-hip ratio that a waist trainer creates may look unnatural, Minkin says the abdominal pressure is unlikely to cause any permanent damage. Despite the lack of data, history shows women have always tried to alter their bodies.
How many inches would that take off?
Oh, I would say quite a few.
Nina Stritzler-Levine, gallery director at the Bard Graduate Center in New York, says the earliest so-called waist trainer dates back to the 1300s, commonly known as the corset.
She's mashed in there between her waist and her chest. Well, yes. That was the desired look.
This is not something that's intended to make a woman more comfortable. It's intended to make a woman look better in their clothing and better respond to the needs of fashion at the moment.
Stritzler-Levine says that as fashion has evolved, so has the ideal female figure.
Which area represents the biggest change in a woman's body?
Well, probably the biggest change in a woman's body is here, where we could perhaps characterize the change from an Edwardian dress to more the flappers of Paris between the interwar years.
Having seen so many changes in fashion, are you at all surprised by waist cinchers becoming so popular?
Absolutely not. It is something that has embedded historical origins across cultures, and it's kind of interesting to think that something that people might think is contemporary has a long trajectory historically.
Certainly does. Before you try squeezing into one of these centuries-old trends, we really want to find out if this is worth it. So CBS News medical contributor Dr. Holly Phillips is here to explain what people are doing this, Holly. Sure. It's really taking off. Is this dangerous?
You know, it definitely has its health risks, but I think, with these things, we always have to know what we're getting and what we're not getting. So this is being called, waist training or the corset diet, and really it's not a diet at all. Certainly while you're wearing the corset, you can see a change in your waist, but whether or not you'll develop any sort of lasting effects is really unlikely, right? You know, for fully grown women, your bones are already formed. You know, the idea that you can actually mold your rib cage isn't really a logical one.
I mean, as a lifelong man, I have to say, we bear the responsibility for this. This is terrible. I mean, when she said...
It's all your fault,
It is because the ideal female figure, according to who? To guys, I guess, right? We have this notion of what is attractive in women, and that has forced women throughout the centuries to do all sorts of things to their bodies, whereas we go around like, wearing, muumuus, and nobody says anything.
Women also do it to themselves. They have their own notions of what's attractive.
So you know what? I do think there are women who dress for women and women who dress for men, and women who just dress for themselves, whatever the idea is. You know, one of the things that we do see with these corsets, when you compress your internal organs to that degree, you're compressing your stomach, you're compressing your intestines, and maybe you won't feel the desire to eat because you can't.
I'm sure you're so uncomfortable with that thing on. As a self-professed vain person, I am going to turn this one down.
top and get rid of my Spanx, I guess.
Thanks to Dr. Holly Williams.
I'm right there
Sage
with you.
advice, as always.
As always. Thank you, Dr. Holly.